I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play
No, this is not a video of hell. This is completely unedited, no filters footage from Western Australia. And you may be wondering, how the fuck does it look like a Terraria blood moon? Well, the answer to that question is sand.
I don't like sand.
Here's a fun fact for you. Australia is the world's largest exporter of iron ore. And 96% of that shit is pulled out of the ground in Western Australia. And the reason we excavate whole chunks there is because the place is sitting on 55 billion, with a B, tons of ore. The whole state is basically just a desert biome covered in iron farms. And that iron isn't just found at Y11. No, there is actual fucking rust in the dirt and sand, which tints the whole fucking desert red. And that red sand is why WA looks like fucking Caelid. See, as if the animals trying to kill us wasn't enough, God has done a little trolling and spawned a tropical cyclone on WA's coastline. And the wind from that bad boy kicks all that red sand into the air, blocks out the sun, and turns whatever light creeps through blood f***ing red. Genuinely thought this was Armageddon, but it is just sand sending us to the tomato dimension. Aussie farmers thought they were being attacked by aliens. But what was actually causing it is so much funnier. This is a wallaby, the kangaroo's vertically challenged little cousin. Now, to get a little more specific, this is a Bennett's wallaby, native to my home state of Tasmania. And that location is very important to the story. Tassie is home to a lot of things. Beautiful views, a seal with a felony record, and the nut. However, one thing they tend to leave off tourism brochures is drugs. Tasmania is the world's largest exporter of legal opium, the main ingredient in opioid painkillers like morphine, with this one tiny island producing 50% of global supply. Now, opium comes from poppy milk, and to get poppy milk, you need to milk poppies. And to produce that 50% of global supply, Tasmanian farmers grow huge fields of these things across the north of the state. However, because throwing these flowers into a crafting table gives you f***ing narcotics, these fields are legally required to be under extremely tight security. Which is why these same poppy farmers became extremely confused when f***ing crop circles showed up in the plant equivalent of a f***ing Town Hall 9 Clash of Clans base. They were understandably absolutely f***ing bewildered by this, and some people even thought it was aliens. So to figure out whether or not it was a Halo elite drawing this shit, they set up some cameras. And what they saw was this little shit. breaking into the field, eating the milk-filled buds, getting absolutely f***eyed, and then hopping in circles until he passed the f*** out. They thought the f***ing Covenant were invading, and it was a drink-driving wallaby. I don't think you understand just how old sharks are.
We got a boomer!
See, I'm not just talking individual sharks. Hammerheads, Bruce from Nemo, Jeff. Yeah! Your average shark lives anywhere between 20 to 80 years. Nothing all that special. I'm talking sharks as a species. Because as a concept, sharks are f***ing one-tricks. They have mained this class through every single balance adjustment Earth has thrown at them. From climate change, to the Ice Age, to that time God decided to punt a rock at Barney the dinosaur. Yeah, when it comes to prehistoric shark species, most people think of the megalodon. That big boy the size of a kaiju that was swimming around in the ocean around 26 million years ago. Which might sound like a long time, but as far as sharks go, this thing's a f***ing zoomer. Go back around 250 million years to the early Triassic, before the literal dinosaurs, and you'll find Helicorpion, a shark with a f***ing buzzsaw for a mouth. 250 not far back enough for you? Go back around 300 million years, and you will find Adestus, the f***ing pog shark. And if that is still not far back enough, you can go all the way back, right to the beginning, to the first recognizable shark, Doliotis problematicus, at 410 million years old. Sharks have existed for 4 times longer than Saturn has had f***ing rings. The first tree only sprouted out of the ground 385 million years ago. That means that for 25 million years, Groot's great-great-grandfather was sat in God's drafts while this f***er chased Nemo. I ate lunch with a wild lizard. Yahoo! You see, before I made the videos, I worked as a handyman, and one day a client asked me to do some brush cutting because their lawn was, putting it lightly, completely f***ed. So I'm taming a miniaturized version of the Amazon jungle, and I see something that nearly gives me a heart attack. A big lump of scales slithering through the brush about 2 steps ahead of me. Being Australian, I immediately assumed it was a snake, which is a problem, because the only 2 snakes in my home state are highly venomous and extremely aggressive. So I immediately stopped what I was doing, backed the f*** up, and got ready to call in the snake catcher to relocate the angry hospital noodle. Help me. However, while dialing the number, I noticed something. That was kind of too fat to be a snake, and it hadn't tried to eat me yet. So, being the poster child for why women live longer than men, I waddled back over for a closer look, and I found this little guy. This is a blue-tongued lizard, and they're actually pretty cool. Native to Australia, these bad boys are basically a tubby skink, but as the name suggests, they have a bright blue neon tongue. Now, I couldn't just leave this distinguished gentleman in harm's way, so I yoinked him and began looking for a place to relocate him away from where I was working. However, during the relocation process, this cute little man proceeded to cuddle up to my shirt and fall asleep, and did not particularly appreciate me trying to move him from his resting place. So, considering it was the middle of the day, I just said, fuck it, called a lunch break, and proceeded to sit in the sun eating a chicken sandwich while Godzilla's little cousin took a nap on my shirt. He sat with me for my entire 30-minute lunch break without me holding him. However, unfortunately, I was only halfway through my workday, so after I wrapped up lunch, I had to say goodbye. I very delicately removed my new scaled friend from my shirt and released him back into the wild. Alrighty, big fella. Off you go. Back into the bushes. There you go. See you, friend. I think this incident legally qualifies me as the first Australian Disney princess. This is the world's oldest shark.
We got a boomer!
But how old actually is it? This absolute fossil over here is the Greenland shark. And this may come as a shock to you, but the Greenland shark is found in f***ing Greenland, man. And with Grandpa Shark here coming in at a f***ing kaiju size, 6 meters in length, and a literal f***ing ton in weight, this senior citizen probably worked with Godzilla back in his f***ing day. But how senior is senior? Well, you might be expecting me to say something along the lines of, 100 years, maybe 150 years, right? Try higher. No, not 200. Close, but not 300 either.
Chocolate.
No, the Greenland shark can live up to 500 f***ing years. You're like, I don't think you understand how old that is. So, to put it in perspective, this is Bob. Bob has just turned 500. Here is a list of things this has lived through. All 8 of King Henry's divorces, the invention of chocolate,
I remember when they first invented chocolate.
Shakespeare's entire lifespan, the Boston Tea Party, the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the founding of the United States, the colonization of Australia, the Industrial f***ing Revolution, the invention of the light bulb and adoption of electricity, the Titanic becoming a submarine, World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, the Vietnam War, the f***ing moon landing, and the invention of the internet. The first episode of SpongeBob. Schlatt's crimes in 99. 2001. The invasion of Iraq. The global financial crisis. The death of Harambe. Australia catching fire. The virus. And it's still with us today to watch fucking TikTok. Australia has a straight up Pokemon. Introducing the brush-tailed possum. More specifically, the golden brush-tailed possum. Native to the land down under and one of the rare examples of an Australian animal that isn't expressly designed to DoorDash you straight to heaven. You see, the brush-tail is one of a grand total of 23 species of Australian possum, which, despite the name, share absolutely no relation to the red-blooded American opossum. These adorable little marsupials come in all shapes and sizes, from the ringtail possum to the sugar glider, and to our protagonist here, the golden brushtail, which is really just a common brushtail possum with a rare genetic mutation called leucism that causes them to lose the pigment in their skin. So, basically, it's a fucking shiny Pokemon. Coming in at around 4.5 kilos and 40 centimeters in length, these tree-dwelling marsupials are nocturnal and primarily herbivores, mainly consisting on a diet of leaves and fruit. And for added cute points, as marsupials, yes, they carry around their babies in a little pouch like their roided out cousin the kangaroo. However, come on, the thing is from Australia, you didn't really think these bad boys would be squeaky clean, did ya? You see, they aren't entirely herbivores. Sure, they love a good salad. They will also quite happily raid a bird's nest and turn Tweety's kids into a 3-egg omelette. Roadkill? Sounds like a fine steak dinner to me. And just because it's not a venomous predator, doesn't mean it can't take your fucking finger off. And the cherry on top, Aussie Pikachu here doesn't go Pika Pika. No, you see, Down Under doesn't have Pokemon trainers, because when you step into the tall grass out here, you hear this absolute fucking demon.